What's up, everybody? I was taking requests through my Instagram page this morning, and someone requested that I do a bit more of a deep dive into my purple bass, which was handmade by Allan Corona. If you follow me, you've probably seen him on a few of my videos doing covers, or he's pretty well known in the Blink community for a lot of his builds, and he does a killer job. He even made a bass for Mark Hoppus. He's played it live, and he's shown it off a bunch. Beautiful bass. But yeah, I realized that I never really did much of a overview on this, even though Allan does have a video on his page showing the build process a bit. I never really talked about it all that much, except for maybe on like some Instagram posts. But yeah, over the last couple of years, Allan's become a really good friend of mine, and I approached him with the idea a few years ago, why don't I make you a guitar and you make me a bass? I ended up sending him this Koa Jazzmaster. It was like Koa and mahogany with a full rosewood neck, and I really like that guitar. Amazing guitar. I've thought about that build a few times in the past couple of years, but I thought he would really appreciate that one, and I've shown that one off in some older videos as well, including I think a video covering Stockholm Syndrome with Allan, which I believe is his favorite song from Blink, which is cool. But yeah, I told him, make me a bass and do not tell me the specs. I let him do whatever he wanted, and I did have some guidelines, I'm pretty sure. I said I wanted a maple fretboard. I was pretty certain on that. And I wanted either a Jag body, a Jazz bass body, or a P bass body. I didn't really care. I let him do anything like that. As far as like pickup configuration goes and hardware and all that, I left it completely up to him. And from what I could tell, he went and just kind of did some private detective work over the course of, I don't know, a few weeks, couple months or something, and kind of learned what I was into. And he came back with this, and I thought it was really, really cool. I've had this now for a few years. When did I make this video? I pulled up a video June 2021, so just over 3 years now I've had this. Man, time flew by on this one. But yeah, he found out pretty quickly that I love the color purple on guitars. Not that I really have that many, but I always appreciated purple. I think at the time I was posting a lot of Eddie Van Halen guitars where he used that purple finish. Same thing with maybe Paul Gilbert. He uses purple a lot, and I always really liked those. Speaking of that, I actually named this bass Paula because of Paul Gilbert and his love of purple guitars. So I felt that was appropriate. So he must have also seen that I was always a big fan of Paul Reed Smith guitars, which does a lot with flame maple and quilt maple tops. And it was something that he was wanting to try to do on a build. So I thought that was cool that he was able to use that as an excuse to try a new technique. And I remember he did a poll on his Instagram saying like, oh, what do you prefer? Just to all of his followers, like, do you prefer quilted maple or flame maple? And I felt like it was not a trap, but I felt like he was waiting for my answer, and I didn't give him one. I didn't choose because I do like them both. I don't know. I couldn't really pick between them. But he confessed to me, he's like, oh, I was really looking for your answer on this one. I was trying to get you. But I don't remember. I think I chose the quilt, which is very cool. He ended up going with the Seymour Duncan quarter pound pickups, which are great for, modern songs. And, they could do a lot of other things too. But this is a 2-volume setup. I don't have a tone knob. I don't really need a tone knob. I like my bass pickups full and open. I don't really go with like that kind of like muted, like almost woolly kind of sound that some bass players use, which is cool in its own right, but it's not really what I do. I think if I would have changed anything on this, I've considered changing the neck if I could find a proper Jaguar bass neck, because this does technically say jazz bass on it, which doesn't really bother me. I do like the jazz bass profile, and I'm pretty sure I did tell him that, I wanted that more comfortable neck design over the like a fuller P bass style neck. That being said, I mean, it is a great bass, and I don't need to change anything on this realistically. Although Allan did change the hardware color on the guitar that I sent him, which I'm totally fine with. He changed it from chrome to black, which still looks really cool, and it does suit the natural guitar. And I'm actually in the process of building a similar kind of guitar, which I'm just waiting on a couple other parts, but this is just mahogany, but it does have the black hardware, which I think will be pretty cool. So that's kind of like a, not an homage, but it will remind me of Allan for sure every time I play it. I threw a Ghastly Pokemon sticker on here. I thought that was cool. I probably would have put a Gengar sticker on there if I'm being real, but I think the sticker that I had I already used on something else. I don't remember. Oh, I think it's on one of my ukuleles, which is upstairs. I think I threw a Gengar sticker on there, but the Ghastly's cool. Ghastly's underrated, and it suits the color really well, I think. It's got a string through body, and I really do appreciate the side jack on this. I always love a side jack instead of the one sticking out the top here, because I don't really use like the L-shaped cables. Yeah, I don't use the L-shaped cables. I don't really like them. But yeah, I've used this on a bunch of projects. I've used it on mostly covers, I'll be honest. It suits, the Blink and, other pop punk sound stuff really well. I've used it on a few songs here and there. I do use my Stingray bass on a lot of recordings, but this one does show up from time to time. When I was doing some stuff with Allan Day from 4 Years Strong a couple years ago, back in 2021 now, I brought this bass along, and it got used on a lot of recordings. Not necessarily 4 Years Strong stuff, but a couple other bands used it and really liked it. Like I would just let them borrow it for a while. I think I was on vacation once for a week, and I just left it there. And this band Sharia Moore, who are great guys, great music. They used it on most of the record, which is cool. I think it's a great sounding bass, and it's great. It's an important bass to me. I really do love it, and I think Allan did a great job on it. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. So if you have any interest, I will put a link below to Allan's build video, I guess, and there is another video where it's not so much a video, but it's more about the audio of how I broke down like a bass tone, through my Axe effects, and it's using this bass. It doesn't really have much on the screen other than me just like flipping through the dials of my Axe effects, but you can kind of get an idea. I don't feel like I need to put that in this video, but thank you to Allan. Thank you to the person who suggested I make this video, because I completely forgot about it. Maybe we'll do another bass in the future. That'd be cool. So check him out if you haven't. He does a lot of great builds, especially like Mark Hoppus style builds. But I've seen him do some other stuff too, and I send a lot of people that will message me about a build. I'll send a lot of them to him because I trust him, and frankly, I just don't have the time. And he's only expanding his rig. He's made it a point to make it his full-time gig, and I think he's doing a great job, and he totally deserves all of the support that we can give him. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys soon.